Dr. Doom.
What's on your evil mind?
Hold your insulting tongue and mark my words well.
How about this rumor that you are really hired, Mr. Stark?
Hello, and welcome to another exciting episode of the KLIQ Nation's Comic Book Chronicles. Oh, shoot. Okay, let's pretend there was a sound effect there, because for some strange reason that's not working. So, perfect. I am your host, Roddy Cat, and, oh, well, that might work, wouldn't it? Anywho, I am your host for tonight, Roddy Cat, and yes, I know we've already done an episode for last week specifically, but we had a super dope guest in Brian Edward Hill, so you should definitely go check that out. And shout out to Mike Wang, even though I don't know if he's seeing this or not, but that's cool. Oh. Okay. I just found some news for next week. Anyway, and that's probably, but we will save that. Speaking of Brian Edward Hill, apparently there's some news that just came across the wire that that will be going on this week. But anyway, in the meantime, I am your host, Radicat. You can find me at Radicat on Twitter. You can find me at well, I guess you can find me on Radicat on Instagram. News Nerds Need on Twitter. You can go to the News Nerds Need Reddit on. It's not toxic, I promise. It's cool. My other host couldn't be here tonight, but that's fine because all I'm doing tonight is the news, and we'll also be talking about DC Universe. So, without further ado, let me go ahead and get the rest of the spiel out of the way and say that you can find this podcast at cspn.us. That's the Cold Slug Podcast Network. Go check it out. Go check this show out and other shows on the network, which just reminded me of an email I forgot to send out, but that's quite all right. You can also subscribe to us on Google Play and Apple Podcasts, aka iTunes, and also go to the SoundCloud of the Cold Slug Podcast Network and go check it out there. And actually, you can subscribe to this whole SoundCloud link there also. You can also go to shop.cspn.us, get some merch, and support the network and support us. Get some nice stuff with the Comic Book Chronicles logo emblazoned on it, and rep. All right, so with that, like I said, we are going to get to the news, but actually first I'm going to do this and get to an ad read first of all. And the first one I'm going to do is Audible. So tonight's podcast is brought to you by audible.com. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at audibletrial.com/comicbookchronicles. Over 150,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. For you, the listeners of the Comic Book Chronicles podcast, Audible is offering a free audiobook download for 33 trial, like we said, to give you the opportunity to check out their service. You can find many books there. You know, it's like Between the World and Me by Ta-Nehisi Coates. Let's see. The Misadventures of the Awkward Black Girl by Issy Ray. Hunger, a memoir of my body by Roxane Gay. It by Stephen King. Star Wars from a Certain Point of View, 40 short stories to retelling Star Wars A New Hope, which that one, from what I've read a little bit of, is pretty good. So yeah, that one's a good one to check out. And actually, I might, even though I have the actual book, I may actually get the audio of that. So good. Anyway, to download your audiobook, go to audibletrial/Comic Book Chronicles. Again, that's audibletrial.com/Comic Book Chronicles for your free audiobook. Now then, let's us get into some news. That was totally not the right one. And that might be kind of loud, but that's quite all right. So, first up, we start as we do every night with the cinematic news. And that is Swamp Thing adds a Falcone as Abby Arcane. So the Swamp Thing show is coming up on DC Universe streaming service. And according to Deadline, the role will be played, or the role of Abby Arcane will be played by Crystal Reed. So apparently, okay, so she played Sophia Falcone, the daughter of Carmine, on Gotham. And she's also been on Teen Wolf. So she's no stranger to the DC Universe, apparently. Or at least the cinematic version. So, let's see, Deadline describes this version of Abby as smart and caring, adding that she is a CDC doctor who is tasked by getting to the bottom of swamp-borne virus. She has a strong sense of empathy, and this will put her in place to face some demons of her past. And, of course, she will cross paths with Swamp Thing. So, cool. And also, in other Swamp Thing news, Maria Sten to co-star as Liz Tremaine in DC Universe series. So Maria Sten of Channel Zero, straight out of Compton, is going to join the aforementioned Crystal Reed in Swamp Thing. And let's see, I don't know, I admit there is a certain ignorance about Swamp Thing and a lot of DC characters at that, but so I don't know who half of these people are outside of all I remember is the movie from back in the day, which I'm sure will play into nothing. Anyway, Sten will play Liz Tremaine, a close childhood friend of Abby Arcane's, who splits her time between reporting for the local newspaper and bartending at her aging father's roundhouse bar. Her no-nonsense attitude belies a deep compassion for her friends and family as she sets out in her uncompromising quest to expose the secrets that threaten her beloved hometown. So, yeah, there's going to be a lot of mystery going on in here. So, I don't know. I will check that out. And actually, I think this might be the last bit of Swamp Thing news we have for tonight. But Swamp Thing writer says series is as hard R as we could get, quote unquote, which I guess makes sense because, I mean, it's not like you're doing it on a network. This is going to be on a streaming service and, thereby gated already. But according to this, we always set out to make Swamp Thing as hard as we can go and as we could and go graphic with the violence, with the adult themes, and make it scary as possible. This is the co-writer of the pilot, looks like. Oh, it looks like this other guy also wrote The Nun, which, if you haven't heard about that movie already, yeah. Oh, and both installments of Stephen King's E. So I guess this guy knows him some scary, I suppose. So yeah, there you go. For fans of that for that kind of genre. Oh wait, here we go. Fans of that series will know it gets pretty weird and extremely scary. Continue. We wanted to live up to that standard that Moore set up back in the 80s. So sounds like they're taking inspiration from Alan Moore's run of Swamp Thing. So there you go. And in fact, it actually says so. So cool. Ray Fisher explains why WB hasn't made a cyborg movie yet. So yeah, I guess they were talking to Ray Fisher about something. He was speaking at a fan fest in New Jersey, like over last week. And by the way, the news I'm doing is from the news we didn't get to last week. If I did not make that clear, because like I said, we had an awesome show with Brian Edward Hill. I did say that earlier, but I wanted to. You should definitely go back and check that out. So, but we couldn't get to the news then. We're doing it now. I don't know. I can't comment on that specifically because they don't tell me anything until the very last minute. There's a ton of people making those decisions behind the scenes, and it would be very, very costly to make a movie because it's so CG heavy. So he has his own explanation as to why they are not making a cyborg movie. Hollywood is no stranger to CGI heavy effects. I mean, effects related movies. So while that might be an issue, Hell, do you think about how much effects Justice League and Bat versus Superman had? Like, they're no stranger to it. So I'm pretty sure, that's not the biggest issue as to them not making that movie. You can speculate on why, other reasons why they wouldn't. Maybe they think Cyborg is not a character enough to do it. But I think it's been argued that, especially given his how his the flashback to his origin kind of came about in the Justice League, I know some folks would say otherwise. So hopefully they will actually get those movies done, or get that movie done, because I know people have been wanting the Flash movie is actually going to happen, but a Flash and a Cyborg movie, I wouldn't mind it. That's all I can say. And also, speaking of the Super Friends, not Super Friends, Justice League, Henry Cavill possibly out amid Warner Brothers DC Universe shakeup. So yeah, there's been reports going around that Henry Cavill might not be Superman for too much longer because of some behind the scenes things. According to this article from Hollywood Reporter, talks broke down for a cameo in Shazam due to scheduling conflicts, and the door is now closing on other potential appearances for the actor. Again, like I said, this has kind of been making around the last couple of days, and with that, a few other things have been kind of floated around. Henry Cavill's manager also says that he insists that the cape is still in the closet, quote unquote, which is a very managerial thing to say, in that business. Not leaving the door open, not leaving the door closed, but just kind of hedging. Which I guess if you take the deep speculation could be like, well, he just wants more money, which I don't think that's the case here. I don't really know, but like I said, the thing with the Shazam scheduling causes this bigger thing to where I don't know. I find it kind of difficult that it was like, well, he couldn't make it for Shazam, so okay, he's not going to do it anymore. Depending on, maybe he's tired of doing Superman. Who knows that if that's the case or not. If that was the case, I would like to think it would be more than just, well, you couldn't get him for a shoot Shazam, so so I don't know. There could be more to it. But anyway, so his manager says in a tweet, be peaceful, the cape is still in his closet, whatever the heck that means. WB Pictures has been and continues to be our partners as they evolve the DC universe. Anticipate a WB statement later on today, which I'm not sure if that actually happened, or either if it did, I did not. If it did, I did not see his news on. Let's put it that way. We do know he's doing other things, so Henry Cavill's going to be all right. Henry Cavill posts cryptic Spider-Man. Excuse me, not Spider-Man. That would be crazy. Superman themed video. So this was like a day later, if I'm not mistaken. And this is supposedly his response to the rumors and the reports going around. And I did not watch the video, but judging by, if you're watching the video, which you should, especially for this episode, because man, well, not even, because we're gonna get into some stuff later with the DC Universe anyway. So as you can see here, if you're watching the video, this is him, I guess, in his house or whatever. He's got a Krypton lifting team shirt, which is kind of a dope shirt, actually. And I'm not going to play the video, and this is off of his Instagram. And the caption underneath says, "Today was exciting, #Superman." So I'm not sure what was in that video just yet, because I hadn't had a chance to actually watch it. So that's good reporting on my part. Yay, me! But yeah, it's an ongoing thing. You should check it out. If you got Cavill's Instagram, you can go check it out. I'm sure it's still there. Because I don't want to play. I should play right now, but I'm not gonna. Nobody can stop me. But speaking of said Superman rumors, of course, when the rumors of a person stepping down, there's always rumors of a person stepping into the role. And this is where the internet comes in, because Michael B. Jordan considered as next Superman on a report. Now, this was as soon as the thing about Cavill came out, people on the internet was like, there were people who don't want, Michael B. Jordan for whatever odd reason, which I can see part of the reason, and I can also see the opposite of that, because there has been a black Superman, Val-Zod, in the DC universe, so they could do that. Doesn't necessarily have to be Michael B. Jordan, if they were going to do that, but outside of that, hey, I wouldn't mind it if he did it. But there are people for and against this idea for different reasons. Some of it's racial, obviously, like it always is. But anyway, according to Deadline, the studio is reportedly muddling a completely different direction for the Superman canon for some time, with Jordan possible casting choice. See, that's the thing. That was the thing about it. It's like, okay, the thing I had the problem with is like, yeah, Black Superman, great, all for it. Absolutely. But there are more people in Hollywood outside of Michael B. Jordan. He's a great actor, don't get me wrong, but come on. Like, yeah, he's popular now for his role in Black Panther and other things he's in Creed and whatnot. But you mean to tell me they can't find someone else to do that? That never makes sense to me. It's like, hey, let's just get the the most popular person, which I kind of get, don't get me wrong, because yeah, you want the draw, and the draw is going to be the person that's the most popular. But come on, you can get other people. Surely he is not the only black person, and he is not the only black dude in Hollywood. Shouldn't be. Anyway, and I also see some more news that I need to do something with. So this is a good episode, I'll tell you. See, I'm finding news left and right. And we'll get to that later. Well, we'll get to that this coming Thursday, 9 p.m., by the way, when the regular episode of Comic Book Chronicles happens. But anyway, like I said, that's Michael B. Jordan, Superman rumors. We don't know. I mean, I seriously doubt that will happen. Again, the internet being what it is, are coming out on both sides of it, and and for their various reasons, which is good and most times bad. And also in other casting switch up rumors, John Hamm wants to be the DCEU's next Batman. So yeah, so the thing with Ben Affleck is still kind of up in the air. We know about the rehab. We know that we don't know whether or not he's going to be in the Batman yet, because that keeps going back and forth for some odd reason. But like I said, the rehab thing is probably going to put a crank into it one way or the other. So again, we have people wanting to, or rumored to be filling the role, could be possibly filling the role. John Hamm, I don't know. I guess. Sure, I've never watched Mad Men, and I think I've only seen him in a couple of different things. And I know people go stupid crazy over him for reasons that have probably nothing to do with his acting ability. But nevertheless, as people are wanting to do left and right, people are, say, hey, I love comic books. Sure, why not? And then I'm sure he probably does. So I don't want to just poo-poo it like that. But, sometimes there are cases where you get, people who, yeah, I want to get a role in this, and but don't really know too much about comic books and that. But nevertheless, I'm not going to say that is the case. Mad Men could have been a comic book for all I know. Actually, from what things I heard about it, probably is in some place. Anyway, the actor addressed both his love of comic books and the continual rumors that have surrounded him since his Mad Men days in an interview with Graham Bessinger's In Depth. Hamm admitted that although he's never held any conversations concerning a Batman role, he definitely considered it if the role was good enough. I've had rumors about this since probably the season 1 of Mad Men, Hamm said, addressing the rumors that he's been up to for the role in the past. Never had a conversation with anybody about it, literally. And I've sat in the room with these guys, and I've never been offered anything. I think the internet wants what it wants. But I mean, a lot of people have to sign off on that, obviously, not just the internet. And I believe, I don't know if it says so here, but there was a specific version I feel like he said yeah, anyway, I feel like I've seen another article saying that there was a specific version of Batman that he would definitely want to play if he could, or a definite storyline. So I am at this point not sure what that one is, but it's fun. So moving right along, Marvel releases first teaser trailer for Desert Devil Season 3. We knew it was coming. It was just a matter of time. So, as you can see here on the Marvel Entertainment, if you're watching the video, then there's a missing picture of Matt Murdock and I guess a little teaser video to go along with it. So it says the promo only lasts 8 seconds and features a missing ad for one Matt Murdock that goes undisturbed throughout the night. So with this, it's clear. Well, this is speculation. With this is clear that Marvel wants us asking, "Where's Matt Murdock?" And so yeah, spoilers for the end of Defenders, which I still haven't seen yet. So hey, go me also for that. So yeah, season 3, Daredevil's coming. Yada yada. Actually, I like Daredevil. That was cool. I don't know. There was some ups and downs on that second season. Cool beans. The Gifted's latest trailers want you to pick a side in the coming war, mutant war. As we see a picture here of the Cuckoos. There's some pretty good casting going on with that. Anyway, so yeah, Gifted's coming back this fall, and apparently there's going to be the Sentinel Service is now using extreme force against the civilian mutants with freaking abandon. Both the Mutant Underground and the Hellfire Club understand that they've got no choice but to fight for their lives if they want to survive. So I haven't been checking out The Gifted. I've heard different things about it. I've heard actually pretty good things about it. So I need to check this out at some point. But anyway, The Gifted comes actually in a couple of weeks. Actually, wait, next week. Yeah, next Tuesday comes back. At the time of this recording, September 25th. So if you're watching the show, you're looking forward to the new season, you jig it out. Let's see. New Mutant Star addresses reshoots and release delay. So New Mutant Star Anna Taylor-Joy, who's, man, speaking of good casting, this was a damn good, at least as far as a look, this is a damn good casting for Iana, aka Magic. So, and of course, Wolfman was also a great one. But anyway, has praised the reshoots for director Josh Boone's X-Men spinoff, saying the delay in the film's release will pay off. So, inspired at least in part by by the Demon Bear run of New Mutants, which I've never read. Sorry. New Mutants is expected to be a full-fledged horror film, which I don't know. Yeah, I don't know that part. I'm not a big horror movie fan, so I don't know. I don't know. It is a thing. But nevertheless, the Iana Rasputin actress promises. I'm having a terrible time with names, and I know I'm better than that. So my apologies. Anyway. We'll have to improve the Mutants. I don't find the delay frustrating because when the film comes out, we want it to be something that will make fans truly happy, she said. So yeah, I mean, reshoots happen in movies. This is not the first time, won't be the last time. Just gotta make it do what it do. So nothing to fret about, folks, until it comes out and does whatever it does. Michelle Yeoh joins Hollywood's condemnation of Disney firing James Gunn. So I think this is like the first time we've heard from her in this. The same thing's been going on. It's like that there's not been more forward movement. It's just that she's just popping onto it, and I don't know. Outside of Batista, who I don't care that terribly much about, I do care about Michelle Yeoh. So hey, there you go. That's her That's her thing. I don't know if she says anything in particular. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Currently starring in Crazy Rich Asians. The actress told Yahoo Movies UK, "I was shocked, horrified that we can allow something like that to happen." She can. Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, so she continued about how she struggled to see why such an archaic comments have come to light. Now you're talking about something that he said in archives. She said, if he said yesterday or today or something like this, then you can make a big fuss. Then why dig it up something now? Which, I mean, she has a point, but at the same time, just because somebody hasn't said something recently like that doesn't mean they don't still believe it. You know, he's just been smarter about not saying it. But that's just one take on it. The other side of that is like, yeah, he could have truly changed, and this means nothing. And you know, the reasons why he got fired was because of some idiot asshole who had an agenda, who, you know, some pro Trump agenda, and went and gotten fired. You know, I can safely say that there are very innocent people that I know personally have gotten fired innocently for being, well, not for stuff they said, but for the ones being for the ones being messed with in a situation, and the rabble rousers who were the one who still having to keep the job. The less said about that, the better, or at least at some other time in some other place. This is not it. Next up, for Captain Marvel, Larson's Carol Danvers isn't fully human. So ever since we've seen the this has been under contention, well, not under contention, but this has been under speculation, you know, since actually we knew Captain Marvel was going to be a movie, because since Marvel hasn't been introduced in the MCU, we weren't really sure about what they were going to take from her original origin or not. So apparently, she's going to be half Kree, which, you know what? Hey, sure, why not? It made sense, because I was thinking about this, especially when the Entertainment Weekly thing came out that we talked about week before last. Can't remember when that was, but regardless, when that came out, and you know, that was kind of leading me to, well, how they're going to handle that part. So there you go. She's already part Kree, so makes sense. And according to this, Miss Larson says that you have this Kree, or I don't think she said that. Oh yeah, she did say that. You have this Kree part of her that's unemotional, that is an amazing fighter and competitive. She explained to Entertainment Weekly. So this is basically still a part of that stuff. Then there's a human part of her that is flawed, but is also the thing that she ends up leading by. It's the thing that gets her in trouble, but is also the thing that makes her great. And those two sides warring against each other is what makes her. So there you go. She's going to be half Kree, half human, all Captain Marvel. Rah, rah. Yay. Look at that. I don't know. I'm definitely looking forward to that movie. So it's going to be interesting, to say the least. Speaking of which, Newsarama has a speculation piece on who they think could be a Skrull right now in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Excuse me. So, you know, when the Entertainment thing came out, we saw the picture of the excuse me, the 4 Skrulls coming out of the water, looking like a boy band. For some strange reason, I started thinking of Skrull Kill Crew, which they were not Skrulls, but they were, you know, Skrull haters who had the abilities of Skrulls. Regardless, that's a whole nother thing that we may or may not see during Captain Marvel or afterwards. But being that we now have Skrulls introduced, or will be introduced at the time Captain Marvel is being set place, which would be in the 90s. Newsarama speculates that, hey, there's probably going to be some still around, because we know there's at least going to be 1 or 2 in said movie, and they were probably going to still be around even now in the well, I want to say post Infinity War, but we don't know that either because a bunch of people got snapped out. So, which actually led me to that speculation also because I was like, well, wait a minute. So, but that's near here nor there because that's gonna get taken care of in Avengers 4. So yeah, this article basically goes on to say that, hey, yeah, we know there's at least one or two they're going to be in Captain Marvel, and there's some that's probably going to be still living, and that's probably going to be something that's going to play out post Infinity War, maybe in Avengers War, or even introduced in. At least that is my speculation of their speculation. So, and like I said, it kind of goes on to drop some names of people that are still around. Or excuse me, that are people that are still around before Infinity War, because obviously people got snapped, and and I'm sure they will be back. Yes, there we go. Next up, but we'll see if any of that comes together. If it does, that'll be interesting. If they're gonna start the whole secret invasion thing, which I think that article starting to speculate too. Which, you know what? Hey, why not? Sure. Marvel Rising's adorable heroes take inspiration from Captain Marvel in a new trailer. So, Marvel Rising has been a bunch of shorts starring Squirrel Girl and Miss Marvel Kamala Khan, as well as a bunch of other young heroes. And I believe this is this is for the movie Marvel Rising, which is going to star both of those characters, America Chavez, Quake, Inferno, and Patriot, the new version of Patriot. And looks like, is that Hawkeye back there? Maybe. I don't know. I can't. No, that might be Quake, actually. So I need to watch those shows. I hear those are pretty decent. But looks like they're going to be Secret Warriors in this movie. So that's pretty cool. And that's going to actually start airing September 30th. So I don't know, is that going to be on their YouTube channel, or is that going to be on Disney XD or something? It doesn't say here. But I know if you've checked out Marvel HQ, the YouTube channel, or even probably just the straight up Marvel channel on YouTube, I know they probably have links to these shows. You can check them out. They're pretty cute looking. So. Next up, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse promo introduces Miles Morales. So I am very much looking forward to Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse, and there will be some more Spider-Man news on a different front later on in the show. But here was apparently a video on YouTube that looks like it may have been taken down at the time of this, which I think it was taken down before the time of this recording. And I don't want to click through it to see if it actually does, because last time I tried it, I think it did. Regardless, there was a video out there in a new promo. The link to this could have been from somebody else and not Marvel. And I should have checked and see if it was out there. Nevertheless, the promo unveils previously unseen footage from the eagerly anticipated film as Morales crosses paths with Peter Parker, Jake Johnson, for the first time. As the young web slinger looks to Parker for advice, the duo are seen taking on superpowered enemies, including a fearsome incarnation of the Green Goblin. So yeah, December 14th, folks. Into the Spider-Verse. I'm very, very much looking forward to it. Also, Spider-Gwen's going to be in that joint, and it's going to be awesome. Look at this picture. There's branded sneakers, which apparently if they don't put those out for the sneakerheads, I don't know what they're doing. Avengers 4 star Mark Ruffalo reveals Hulk's worst fear. So I read this one a little bit, and I'm like, okay. So if you've seen Infinity War, I'm pretty sure most of you have already. You saw Hulk got beat down pretty handily by Thanos, so which would suggest that for the rest of the movie, Hulk wasn't trying to come out because he was scared to catch them hands again, get them hands caught, or whatever the case may be, as the kids would say. Apparently, his according to Mark Ruffalo, we now know that the Green Goliath's greatest fear is not Thanos, but it's someone director Joss Whedon discussed years before with Ruffalo himself, Bruce Banner. Again, this is what he believes going from Whedon's thing, so you got to take that for what it is, especially since Whedon's not even doing the movies anymore. There's a conflict brewing between Banner and Hulk that's been going on since the beginning, Ruffalo said on The Marvelous, the MCU podcast. And it all came out of sort of this question that Josh Whedon asked me when the Hulk gets the fairy dust from Scarlet Witch sprinkled on him in Age of Ultron, and asked, what is the Hulk afraid of? So, okay, given that right there, I'm sure that's a long time to bring up a plot point, but it's, again, not a first time for that in movies, movie franchises, or comics at that. So I guess, but anyway, and that was a hard thing for me to answer, because what is the strongest, fiercest thing in the universe afraid of? Then I realized it's Banner, he continued. The only thing Hulk is afraid of is Banner. I don't know why, but sure. And that's my speculation on that last part. And so that's become something that we've been riffing on since Age of Ultron. We've played with a lot in Thor Ragnarok, and it continues to be teased out in Avengers Infinity War and Avengers 4, which, now that I think about it, makes sense, because in Thor Ragnarok, he had been Hulk for 2 years and not trying to change back to Banner at all. So I guess there's some sense to it, but I don't know. Getting clocked by Thanos when you think you're the biggest baddest bully in the world would be enough to kind of scare me. But oh, that just seems like a bully thing. I'm like, yeah, I got you, bloop, knocked out with a 2-piece, and I'm scared now. You know, that would me. That would some would probably consider that cheap writing. I don't know. Regardless, move right along. Well, anyway, yeah, we don't need to go around some of that. So that's the thing, whether that is actually is going to be the case in Avengers 4 or not. You know, whether they pick that thread back up. Because realistically, I guess the Thor thing kind of did come up, and everybody else who got duty. I don't know. Don't know at all. But next up, speaking of Avengers 4, Jeremy Renner shares photos from Avengers 4 reshoots. So Hawkeye is returning in Avengers 4. There he is with a cool haircut on his Instagram page. If you're watching the video, it says down here, day is done. It's Friday. Enjoy your weekend, everyone. And hashtags, a bunch of stuff. Marvel, Avengers, Hawkeye, Widow, So yeah, it was a behind the scenes photo. Doesn't really say much. I don't know what that while some of Renner's hashtags are a little trickier to decipher, the use of A6 is a direct reference to the original 6 heroes from the Avengers Still Alive after the finger snap. So yeah, I mean, they're not the only ones who survived, but yeah, they're the main ones who survived. So, which, yeah, we've already talked about that. But yeah, there we go. Hawkeye made it after the snap. We already knew that. Wait, did I just do that twice, or what's going on now? Did do that one twice, didn't I? Oopsies. All right. I didn't mean to bring this up, but you know what? Just to close the loop on this, I am anyway. Chinese authorities confirm X-Men star fan Bing Bing's arrest. So they finally caught Fan Bing, who was apparently evading taxes. So yeah, and I guess she's. Well, excuse me. According to this, let's see, the status of Days of Future News has finally been revealed by Securities Daily, which is a state-run Chinese publication. According to the publication, Fan had been placed under control, quote unquote, and will accept the legal decision, whatever that means. So yeah, it says she was reported under investigation for tax evasion back in June. So yeah, things are happening on that front. Yeah, I don't know what any of that means, and any speculation on that. Well, I do know what some of that means, but whatever the truth is in any of that, who knows? Laura Dern and Steven Spielberg think the best popular film Oscar is a dumb idea too. So I agree. Well, they agree with me and I agree with them. Because again, we've talked about this and no reason. So yeah, so basically the best the Oscar committee, if you did not know, wanted to make a best popular film to accommodate Black Panther and films like that. When after 80 some odd years of whatever or whatever in the Oscars, they've never done anything like that before, and they're only doing this because they don't want to give one of their actual quote unquote. I'm saying this is my speculation. Actual awards, to a deserving film. And we've talked about this in the past. It is definitely stupid of them to do that just to try to say, well, here you go, we're going to throw you a bone here for a category that is not, the actual like this best popular film. That could be something they could do in technicals before the show, and like they tend to do. So it still wouldn't be right. Anyway, it's just stupid. Like no, give it an actual award. It fits in the categories just because the Academy doesn't like superhero films. That's always been a thing that's known, or at least said to be known anyway. So it doesn't make any sense one way or the other. But meanwhile, well, you know what? The Academies are kind of screwed up, and the Oscars are kind of screwed up anyway for many other reasons that won't need to be going on to here. And next up, we have The Witcher casting details signal change for a key character. So I feel like we had talked about this, but I don't think we did. So the character of Ciri, that's Ciri. In the upcoming Netflix show, which is actually going to be starring Henry Cavill, apparently, as we found out a couple of weeks back. They're looking for someone to play Ciri, and they're looking for an actress who must not be older than 18, and they're looking for a BAME actress, which that is someone that is Black, Asian, or minority ethnic and provides a character's description, which I won't go into. So if you know anything about the Witcher game, it's basically it's a fantasy world based off of, I don't want to say it's not Nordic, but it's basically all white. There aren't that many Black people in that world. I think there are maybe one or two, but it's mostly white because it's set in somewhere in the east. Not necessarily Nordic land, but probably around about some places like that. Nordic Vikings, because regardless. So people are up in arms for that reason because how certain people are in situations. Oh, the character's white. Why you can't get a white person? Blah 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 blah. So yeah, and so people are mad because they want to shake it up a little bit. Because that's just how some people are. So anyway, so that's the thing that I don't know if that hubbub is still kind of going on. And, people on both sides of the situation or whatever, because what's one more log in the fire of internet flame, and it's sad that this is like this. But hey, well, it is what it is. Bravest Warriors is coming back to help with your Adventure Time withdrawals. So apparently, and I haven't been keeping up with this, but Adventure Time is gone off the air. I think it has already ended, actually. Yeah, I think it's already ended by now. Now that I think about it. But Bravest Warriors has been on, at least from what I've seen, has been on YouTube. And they've done a bunch of Bravest Warriors shorts. The Bravest Warriors is another cartoon made by the same person who made made Adventure Time, Pendleton Award. I like Braves Warriors. It's kind of cool, and I'm sure the old versions are out there on YouTube. So, but apparently they're bringing some more back, because I didn't know they had stopped making Braves Warriors shows. I just hadn't been watching them. In fact, yeah, I think I got a playlist with all of them now. So I think if you like, I mean, I don't think it has the same. It may or may not appeal to the same people as Adventure Time did, or certain parts of the Adventure Time fandom did. But Braves Warriors could. So it's basically it's a bunch of teams who are it's kind of a sci-fi thing. It's a bunch of teams battling evil, but and you know, they have like their own special forces. It's cool. It was definitely cool. I enjoyed the humor in it, and the fact that they're making some more is quite cool. So I want to say, I would say there was a Runaways vibe to it, but I don't know enough about Runaways to say that that's kind of true. And I don't know if their parents were like evil also with that, because you never, as far as I remember, you never really saw their parents. So anyway, but that's a cool thing. More Braves Warriors, cool. I should go back and check that out. Next up, in the first teaser for Netflix's She-Ra, A Princess of Power Rises. So, folks, if you did not know anything about me, I love a transformation sequence. So, you know, yes, from Transformers to He-Man to any other, you know, Power Rangers, I guess even, yeah, sure. So Sailor Moon, all kind of those transformation sequences are dope. I love them. So we got a new teaser trailer for She-Ra, Princess of Powers, where she is transforming. And I have yet to watch this, but nevertheless, based on that GIF at the top of this article, hey, it's cool. And actually, I actually meant to watch this just teaser, but whatever reason I had not. So yeah, this was a debut by Teen Vogue, and the teaser is slight, but it gives us a look at Adora finding out her true destiny and making a very good Sailor Moon style transformation into the legendary She-Ra herself. So obviously, beats have been taken, which, hey, makes sense. You know, magical girl thing is a thing for a reason. But cool. Yeah, and there's been hubbub about that, but screw those people. It's not for them. And obviously, it goes without saying, She-Ra, the reboot, will be coming out on Netflix November 16th. So if you're inclined, go check it out. Now we go into the. Actually, I should have waited and put my ad right there. We're gonna go into comic book news though right now, with Marvel Unlimited digital subscription library continues to grow this September. So they're adding a whole bunch of stuff to Marvel Unlimited, as they tend to do. Sometimes we get these articles, sometimes we don't. But it just gives you a bunch of stuff that's coming out. Mostly the stuff, like say anything that comes out this week will probably be on Marvel Unlimited in like 4 months. So there's usually a 4-month gap between what comes out in print and what gets to Marvel on that. 4 to 6 is for the new stuff, something like that. But I think they've been relatively good about holding tight to 4-ish, 4-ish months with that. Could be a little bit different because some of the stuff looks like I think it may have come out in less than 4 months. But regardless, it is what it is. If you're part of Marvel Unlimited, and check that out. It's good stuff. And all new Guardians of the Galaxy arrives this January. So yay with that. So we've already seen as Guardians of the Galaxy. That's kind of a different thing. That's a decent book. Wait. So Danny Case and Jeff Shaw are the creative team behind the new Guardians. You know, Danny Case kind of everywhere at this point. This could also go back to what I'm saying about, like, can somebody else get a book? I mean, don't get me wrong, I like Danny Case's stuff, but you know, there are surely, you know, there's new talent and other talent you can give books to. You know, he's got a lot of books, and I'm saying man's got to eat, but still. Anyway, it says here, Jeff and I have had some insane plans for our first Guardians arc. Kate's told Marvel this arc is called Endgame and is seen in Thanos' Legacy, which I believe he's always also doing. It begins with the reader's reading of Thanos' last will and testament. An artifact that Thanos' brother Eros dug up out of his late brother's heart, which will very well spell doom for the entire universe. So if it's not Thanos, it's something a part of him that's going to screw us all up. So we don't know who's going to be a part of the team, but that's going to be next January. I don't know. I'm a fan of Guardians of the Galaxy and the iterations they're in, so I will definitely be checking this out. I don't know what to say about it outside of that. Wedding. Oh, folks. If you did not know, Friday before last, as of this recording, a little game came out called Marvel's Spider-Man on the PS4. A couple of us on the panel have been playing this game. Tim's been playing it. I've been playing it. The game's, no one's playing it. No one's been talking about it. So I can't imagine. I don't know. You may or not have heard about it. But no, the game's great. The game is awesome. Whether you're a Spider-Man fan or not, it's a good game. Like you've heard about the swing, the web swing and the grain, the combats, with this Batman Arkham style. The game's great. Story's been great so far. I'm not that far. Well, I'm not terribly far in, but I've been enjoying what I've played so far. And luckily, there haven't been too many major spoilers about the end of the game, so that's awesome. But however, there's been a bunch of Easter eggs and whatnot floating in and out of the game. If you've seen my Twitter account, you've seen me post at least a couple so far, and I haven't been streaming it. Like I said, I had said I was going to stream it, but I decided not to. And there's been a bunch of people streaming it, so maybe one day I might for a thing when I'm a little bit farther in. But I get kind of hesitant to, especially games like that, which are open world. I get kind of hesitant to stream that kind of stuff. Regardless, wedding proposal hidden in Spider-Man Unravels may be patched out. Apparently, that's the update. Because that wasn't an update when I originally saw this article. So, Spider-Man fan before the game came out asked Insomniac, I think he asked over Twitter, to help him propose to his then girlfriend before the game came out. But sadly, he and his girlfriend broke up a couple of weeks before the game came out, and there was some questions as to what happened with that. And he came out and said some things, and then she came out and said, yeah, it's not, confirm a couple of things, but also, said it's not exactly like that, because he was saying one thing that happened, and she was like, no, part of what he said that happened with our breaking up and her moving on didn't happen the way he said it did. So there's that. But basically, yeah. So as you can see here, this guy on Twitter, here's his tweet asking for Insomniac's help with that, and they did. And you can see it on this billboard for looks like a movie theater. But again, since apparently they broke up shortly before the game came out, yeah, does not have a happy ending. So I guess they're going to patch that back out. So that's sad. So yeah, and according to this article, the article that she left him for, basically, yeah, he said that she left him for his brother, and apparently that's not true, because I think she's even said that that's not true. She is in a new relationship, just not with his brother, like he said. So yeah, take that for what you will. Regardless, there's a lot of things in Spider-Man game Easter egg wise. Yeah, that's sad, and y'all be careful about where and how you do wedding proposals, because apparently they don't always work out like you hear about in a lot of cases. That one's sad. I would say kind of funny, but I'm not sure at this point. Anyway, more Spider-Man PS4 news. All the suits you can get. I won't go through all of this just in case you care, but obviously there's going to be a bunch of suits that you can find in game. If you pre-order the game, you can actually get 2 of them. One of which being Iron Spider from Infinity War, and I can't remember what the other one is. It's like the Velocity suit, I believe. But you can, classic suits in there, ripped up suits in there, Scarlet Spider's in there. I don't know if Amazing Bagman's in there. I don't know. I don't know. There is his black and gold suit is in there. I don't know if his black and white Venom suit is in there. I am not entirely sure. Spider-Punk is in there. Be nice if there had I know this wouldn't play, but Spider-Gwen's suit would be awesome, and Miles's would be cool too. But Miles is in the game, so and I haven't seen that part yet. Or I should say that I think I've seen a cameo of him, if that's who that was. But I haven't got to the part where Miles kind of comes in proper. But yeah, so there's a bunch of suits that you can get during the course of the game and swing around with. Game is great, man. If you got a PS4 and so inclined, you should check it out. It's a really good game, and I'm sure it will be talked about at the end of the year. And here we have, we have how to unlock the Avengers Infinity War suits. Which is an article that shows how to do that. It's a spoiler for in the game, and I won't spoil it. But like I said, if you pre-ordered the game before it came out, you got that suit already. But yeah, this article just kind of goes into how you can unlock it in game, because you may want to do it. And again, it is basically Iron Spider, so you should go check that out. And oh my god, autoplay in videos, I'm going to strangle you. Anyway, Spider-Man's New Game Plus mode is in the works. So in addition to the game coming out, there's going to be some DLC coming out. We already knew that, but apparently Insomniac is working on a New Game Plus for the Spider-Man games, which, hey, more Spider-Man is awesome. It is cool. It is a big open world game with a bunch of stuff in it already. But you know what? Not going to complain about more. It doesn't. I don't know if it says if this was going to be free or not. But it says here that the developer revealed that a team is currently working on the mode via a tweet from Insomniac Games, makers of Sunset Overdrive and a bunch of other awesome games. See, New Game Plus will allow you to replay through Spider-Man with all of the web crawler's abilities and skills that have been unlocked in a previous save. Although it hasn't been confirmed for this game, most New Game Plus modes also increases enemies' health and damage output, which is true. A few, like the one in Batman Arkham Knight, even makes minor changes to certain cutscenes and adds late game enemies to earlier fights. Insomniac doesn't have an estimate for the New Game Plus release mode just yet. And like I said, so that should be forthcoming probably, I would imagine, sometime in the beginning of the next year. But we also know that, there's 2 pieces, or there's a 3-part DLC. The first of which is going to come out next month, October 23rd. That's called The Heist. It focuses on Felicia Hardy, which I've seen a couple of Easter eggs of Black Cat in the game, so I guess that makes some sense. And I believe, I can't remember, let me see, there is another one, I don't know. So I know there's those 3-piece, that one, and I think there's another one, or maybe it's those 3 and I'm just misremembering all of the DLC. I would have to check and see, because I know, yeah. Anyway, because if I'm not mistaken, I think I did the one that has DLC attached to it, so I will be getting that, and hopefully I will be finished the game, because I've barely ever finished games, so that's kind of ridiculous. But this one looks like one I may end up finishing. Anyway, more Spider-Man news that is not the video game version. Christos Gage and Mike Hawthorne, rekindled the Superior Spider-Man. Speaking of Iron Spider, I guess, kind of. So this December, Otto Octavius will leave the moniker of Dr. Octopus behind and forever become the superior Spider-Man. And now I have been keeping up with what's been going on with Spider-Man books lately. So because I've been hearing things as we've talked about them on the show proper, but I'm still not really, still don't really know because the Spider-Geddon stuff is still going on. And yeah, and I know I've heard Otto's been doing some things. So yeah, apparently Crystal's Gage will do the writing. Mike Hawthorne is doing the art, and Crystal said that I've had the great pleasure of collaborating with Dan Slott, on his incredible Superior Spider-Man run, and I can't wait for people to see this new chapter in Otto's journey towards redemption, corruption, triumph, tragedy. That remains to be seen. You know, as if we didn't have enough Spider folks running around, here comes Otto. Not a lot of people liked Superior Spider-Man. I was one of them, you know, when Slott wrote them. I know there are some people who have liked Superior Spider-Man, but apparently for some reason can't stand Slott now for some probably dubious reasons. I don't know. But regardless, Superior Spider-Man's coming back in December, and I don't know, I may check it out. I will definitely check it out. Let me not even say that, but I don't know if it's gonna have the same feel as the Slott version, but I would imagine it would since he's already collaborated on it. And here you can see the cover of it, and I am slightly curious as to how he gets from wherever he is now to there, but again, I have not been reading Spidey. So that is that. Well, that is that on that one. Hasbro unleashes Marvel Rising toy line featuring Miss Marvel, Ghost Spider, Spider-Gwen, and more. So if you're watching the video, you can see these figures that look more like Barbie dolls than the figures we know of the Marvel Legends line. But nevertheless, hey, it's a dope thing, and it's Hasbro, so you know, come on. So it's dope that the Marvel Rising is gonna a toy line. So it says here the brand will feature toys and role play gear based on Marvel characters, which Hasbro has been pretty better about getting more cosplay gear out there. So that's awesome. But anyway, see, the brand will feature toys and role play gear based on Marvel characters such as Miss Marvel, Ghost Spider, America Chavez, Squirrel Girl, and Inferno, who described in an official press release as a diverse team of everyday teens utilizing their super secret superpowers to change the world and rise to their full potential. Almost champions like. Haha. All figures are aimed at ages 6 and up and will come in different varieties. Mainline will feature 11-inch figures with 15 points of articulation and sell for $19.99, $20. The training outfit doll line will have 11-inch figures with 5 points of articulation and go for $12.99. And finally, the secret identity doll line will feature 11-inch figures with 11 points of articulation and 2 outfits that will sell for $24.99. The line of toys will also see a Ghost Spider, Spider-Gwen themed web slinger, which will come with a gauntlet, a water canister, and web fluid. The Ghost Spider web slinger is aimed at ages 5 and up, and you can see the picture here, which basically looks like the old Spider-Man canister, you know, which makes sense. I mean, you know, just a different coloring, and of course you see this little girl with a hoodie and gloves. So let's see, the Marvel Rising line will be at Target, Disney stores, and HasbroToyShop.com. Target will carry an exclusive Secret Identity Squirrel Girl figure for $29.99, and the line will be released in October, which is, you know, around the time that the aforementioned Secret Warriors. Oh, here we go, and we found out what channel that comes on. Disney Channel and Disney XD for Marvel Rising Secret Warriors, the film that we spoke about earlier. So cool. the controversial behind-the-scenes origin of Hulk's father. So there's been some debate about this. Not so much a debate, but we discussed this when the last issue of Immortal Hulk came out. And there was some talk that the bad guy behind, or the bad guy behind Sasquatch's monster turn, or whatever the case you want to call it, kind of coming out of nowhere. Apparently that is not the case, because this comes from Incredible Hulk 312, where, according to this article, there's a little bit of backstory as to why, spoiler alert, the animosity between, and that's kind of lightly, between Bruce Banner and his father played out. So this apparently did not come from anywhere, and apparently this issue was a Secret Wars 2 tie-in. So, but in this issue, I guess we get a flashback to Bruce as a baby. And if you're watching the video, you can see, him in his crib in the second panel with shades of Hulk outlining, which is weird. But and his dad and mom's talking, and then things get bad. Things get bad, and his dad goes crazy. And again, Marvel at the time not ashamed of domestic violence, apparently, at the time, because even though the fact that they kind of shy away from Hank Pym's right now, you can see the panel right here where Bruce's dad smacks his mom, and Bruce kind of comes in to help and smacks him away, and he calls him a monster, because apparently his dad wanted all the attention before Bruce came along, and yeah. So yeah, and ends up killing his mom, or Bruce's dad ends up killing his mom, and that's where apparently this is maybe coming from. So so yeah, apparently this is definitely not something that came out of the air. This is, now granted, it's something that kind of came out of no recent story things to kind of told it, but nevertheless, this came from nowhere. They just plucked it from the past. So yeah, there you go. That's the thing. The X-Men grieve Cable's death in X-Men: The Exterminated #1. So I think this is a one shot, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it is. That will be penned by Zach Thompson, and Lonnie Nadler. I guess these are the people who wrote the Cable book, which I never read, I don't think. The issue's cover is illustrated by Jeff Shaw, and a special backup story will be penned by legendary X-Men scribe Chris Claremont. So basically, this is their eulogy issue for Cable, old Cable, I should say, because apparently there's going to be young Cables floating around. Spoilers. Ding dong. Yep, there you go. So, but I forgot I had the sound effects going. So yeah, Cable perished. Yeah, so yeah, Cable died in X-Men Extermination 1. Or at least old Cable did. And I guess this is their farewell to him. So maybe he's actually going to be gone for good. But we did say, I think there's been rumblings that there's a death or two from this that might stick, and I guess this might be the one. So, and of course, this deals with Hope Summers and at some part Jean, I guess. At the end of this, so yeah, this issue will follow Hope Summers as she grieves the death of her adoptive father. A press release reveals Hope's journey could easily descend into darkness, though, and Jean may or may not be her only salvation. So that's what that book's going to be about. Cool beans. Winter Soldier returns in his own series this October. So yeah, Bucky had a series for a little bit, where he was getting into some things, and now he's going to be back. And So yeah, that's what I thought. It's going to be a mini series, 1 of 5. I mean, it's going to be a 5-issue mini series. So there is that. And it's going to be written by Kyle Higgins with art by Rod Reyes. So cool. Not sure who's going to get to. I'm not going to read this, but yeah, cool. Bucky fans rejoice. Top Car relaunching The Darkness in 2019, which the picture, if you're watching the video, kind of looks slightly like a Venomized Bucky. I'm just going to go ahead and put that out there. But The Darkness has been a thing for a long time, so I think actually before even Venom came about, but I'm not even sure about that one, so don't even quote me on that. Anyway, Top Cows is developing a new Darkness series anticipated to launch in 2019. The company publisher Matt Hawkins is writing the series with Tom Grindberg drawing the book. And there's a tweet from Matt Hawkins with a work in progress on said book. So, cool. Protect yourself against bloodshot nanites with the new Valiant kit. No, really, according to this article. So apparently, there's a first aid kit, which is what this essentially is, but it's adorned with Bloodshot Rising Spirit on the cover and the creative team. So I guess this is this is a thing. It's, I mean, I don't know what else to say about this. Outside of the fact that Bloodshot Rising Spirit is coming out November 14th, and I guess this is a thing that they're going to pack in with it, or well, not pack in thing, but I guess it's going to be sold alongside it, and there may be a version with the book in it. I think the thing says. So yeah, if you want a first aid kit with Bloodshot branded stuff, go for it. So it's got hand cleanser wipes, gauze pads, the stuff you would find in a first aid kit, including a comprehensive first aid guide. So, and some gloves. So it's actually a legit kit. So it's not like just some random thing. So I guess that's cool. That's kind of funny. You don't really see that kind of stuff nowadays. It's funny though. Anyway, Boom Studios announces New York Comic Con 2018 panel programming. So Boom Studios is going to be at New York Comic Con, and this is a listing of all of their panels. So if you are going to New York Comic Con, you can go check that out. Their programming schedule, and see, October 4th through the 7th is New York Comic Con. So therefore, fastly approaching. If you hadn't gotten your tickets yet, then I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, Troll Hunters art book to arrive February 2019 from Dark Horse. So Troll Hunters is the DreamWorks Netflix series. I have not seen it. I heard pretty good things about it. But now there's going to be an art book called Tales of Arcadia, The Feld, written by Richard Ashley Hamilton of How to Drain Your Dragon, Servant's Era fame. And it expands on the world of Troll Hunters as its new titles of Troll Hunter and Boyfriend weigh heavily on Jim Lake Jr., which I guess is the main character of that series. So yeah, if you're a fan of Troll Hunters, you can go check that out. And then I forgot that is also the Guillermo del Toro joint. So we should not let that go without saying that. So yeah, cool. Oh, it's even got a afterword by Mark Hamill, so that's cool. But yeah, if you're a fan of that series, you may be interested in that book. Elmore Leonard meets Blade Runner in Patience, Conviction, Revenge, #1. So yeah, there's going to be a Elmore Leonard I guess I don't want to say inspired, because I guess they're taken from one of his stories or something. Doesn't really say that much here. Oh, well, it says like an Elmore Leonard novel set in the world of Blade Runner, Patience, Conviction, Revenge is an offbeat and often funny, but all about the dark corners of cities and minds. A violent criminal genius with a bad case of monomania makes for the most fun you'll ever have in the comic this year. So, okay. And yeah, that's next week. Looks like it's coming out. So, if some of that I've said is appealing to you, go for it. Art Balthazar's Powers in Action introduces the Hero Squadron. So it's another Art Balthazar joint of Tiny Titans fame and Itty Bitty Hellborn, also of All Yeah Comics fame. So yeah, got a new book coming out. Actually, it's not a new book. It's like I think it's he's basically bringing back some characters he's made. If I remember reading this right, and it's going to be a 4-issue story arc. So yeah, it's just another addition to that universe. So cool. So if you don't know about All Yeah Comics, they do a lot of all ages books in a certain particular file, which is cute. It's cool. And of course, Titans they've done for DC, which is also a good book. It's cool. Image's new series Die has the first comic book trailer that's actually good. So yeah, there's going to be a new Image series called Die, which not like the kill die, but the die is in roll a hard 20 or roll natural 20, all that kind of good stuff. And this is being done by Kieran Gillen and artist Stephanie Hans. And apparently it tells the story of 6 friends who suddenly disappear one night after sitting down to play a tabletop role-playing game. Kind of sounds like the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon series where they go through a roller coaster and get transported to a different world, I guess. But no telling. Anyway, no one in the town can figure out what happened to the kids, and eventually people give up the search. But then 2 years later, all 6 of the kids mysteriously reappear miles and miles away from their home, traumatized and forever changed by the experience. Also sounds like any number of TV shows where, oh, you've been gone for X amount of years. No, that's not the takeaway. I'm not saying all this to take away from it, because it actually sounds like it could be pretty cool. And I guess we get into what happened during the 2 years that they were disappearing. Maybe they did. Maybe they did turn into the animated Dungeons and Dragons series, which I need to go back and watch that again because I don't remember how it ended. Anyway, so that's the thing. It's coming out. So you see some pages here. It doesn't say when it's coming. Oh, yes, it is. It's out December 2018. And it looks like it's got a tagline of "Fantasy just got real," and you see a 20-sided die. So wait, is it going to be Final Destination meets Dungeons and Dragons? Because I kind of would almost be here for it. But yeah, you should go check that out. That sounds interesting. And Dungeons and Dragons, always been a certain amount of hotness, getting more hotness lately. But a mythical bank robber returns in Dugan and McCrae's Dead Rabbit. 20 years ago, Martin Dobbs donned the cap and mask of the Dead Rabbit and became the notorious highwayman and stick-up artist until succeeding in one big score. Then he vanished, and now he comes himself back out. This has been written by Jerry Duggan and John McCrae. This is just an article with Jerry Duggan about that. So I don't know anything about that character, but sure, cool. Wait, this is coming out for DC, it looks like. So, yeah. I don't know. See, now he finds himself having to wear the hood once more and in the crosshairs of the law and mob alike to save the life of his beloved wife in this action comedy by Jerry Duggan. So that makes sense. When you say Jerry Duggan, hey, there's going to be some comedy in there some kind of way. Writer of Deadpool. Go for it. Breaking, which granted is old news at this point. Vertical's Border Town goes back to print. So I talked about Border Town. I enjoyed it. It's a interesting, strange book. Apparently here and other places have likened it towards Stranger Things, which I've never seen. So I did not have that reference, but I would like to hope that what I said about it kind of appeal to some folks similarly, but nevertheless, it's getting a second printing, which is awesome. So you should probably, if you're so inclined, go check it out. That book's the book's kind of got something going on with it. Mighty Morphin pin set released by Lineage Studios. So, Power Rangers, again, kind of hot right now in cases. Always been for the last 25, 30 years, well, how much has been around. But now there's a pin set by Lineage. Whoa, that was weird. There's a pin set that is coming out for folks who like pins. And looks like, oh, I did not see this originally. So apparently there's a 4-pin set. Wait, is this magnetic or is it just not? So if you're looking at the video, you can see there looks like the Rangers, at least the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers morphers, or at least the front side of it, and it looks like the middle part comes out, which would be the coin, their power coins. So that's kind of cool. I don't know if that's, so is that magnetic or something? Because that's kind of, it's actually fucking cool. But anyway, so you can purchase, there's like a set of 4, which is no, it's a set of 5. It's the original 5: Tyrannosaurus, Triceratops, Mastodon, Saber-tooth Tiger, Pterodactyl for $20. Fans can also purchase the Golden Power Morpher pin set, which includes Tommy's Green Ranger and White Ranger's power coins, Dragonzord and Tigerzord for $15. Alternatively, fans can purchase their favorite power coins individually for $6. Okay, so you can put the different power coins into the different things. Because if you can see here, like, it's not that far, and the power coin kind of goes in the middle of it, and it's also a pin. So I don't know how it's being held together. I'm assuming magnets. Don't know. That's kind of interesting. I would probably. Okay, I'm not reading his comments because that's dumb. Anyway, but that's cool. If you're Power Rangers fan, you should go check that out. Benjamin Percy announces departure from DC's Nightwing. So yeah, Benjamin Percy, writer of Nightwing, announced Tuesday night. Well, this is probably the last Tuesday night. As of this recording, that October's issue 50 will be his last of the series. Percy made the announcement on his Twitter account in a string of 4 separate tweets, and while he didn't go into the specifics on why he's stepping down from Nightwing, he did state that he didn't get to complete the story that he planned for Dick Grayson. Quote, "I really wish I could have told the story I planned to tell, but I promise I'm leaving you on a high note," Percy said. So, yeah, he gave thanks to the people. I think I saw a couple of his tweets. He was thanking people and, collaborators and the fandom with it. So that's that. Hey, wait. Because I could have sworn. Pardon me a moment, folks. Oh, where? I could have sworn I had. I could have sworn maybe it's in the next one. I may be blending stuff together because I could have sworn I had an article in here about Benjamin Percy renewing. It could be somebody else, and it could be for next week. So you may want to ignore that. But I could have sworn I had an article about Benjamin Percy's renewing his exclusivity with DC, but that might be next week. I'll try to bring it up this Thursday or when we record, if that's the case, because it might be in that one or not. Anyway, a Justice League member has uncovered the multiverse's dark secrets, and this is a spoiler for Justice League 7, which I believe is already out. The Flash he comes across some things. I'm not up on the story, so I'm not even sure what's going on, but nevertheless, the Flash figures it out. So again, I don't know what's going on, but nevertheless, hey, secrets revealed. Supergirl goes on space journey to investigate Krypton's destruction, and this will be in. This has been in this week's, I guess last week's Supergirl 22. She'll be traveling the universe to investigates Rogol Zar's claims about Krypton, whatever that may be, because I'm not reading the book. And more importantly for her, his possible murder of her family and homeworld. So the journey starts on Mogo, and Supergirl accesses the Green Lantern's Corps records in 22, but apparently her search for answers will take her to all corners of the universe. So Supergirl on a journey out to space. Cool. DC launches statue line based on Dark Knight's Metal's Evil Batman. Pardon me. So yeah, there's a new line of toys based off of Dark Knight's Metals, folks. And if you're watching the video, you can see one of them right now, which is they're based off of Greg Capullo's art. See there, the statues will also come with a few interchangeable parts to make sure you can display them differently. So cool, I guess. Like I said, haven't been keeping up with metal either, so I don't know. But decent looking figure. And that, folks, is that for the news section. But before we go on, I want to actually, you know what? No. I'm going to do this before I read the last ad read, because, folks, we still got a little bit more to go. Because I did promise I was going to bring this up and talk about DC Universe. The app and website has just been launched, folks. So you can, it's worth noting that it launched around Batman Day, which has been a couple of days ago, or at the time of this recording, which I'm recording on a Monday, the 17th, and Batman Day was like on Saturday, I believe. Or Friday or Saturday, I believe it was, something like that. But regardless, DC Universe has launched and it is now out. You can go check it out. There's a 7-day trial. This is not, I'm not getting paid for this, but I'm trying this out because I figured, you know, hey, people might want to check this out or not. So I'm not getting paid for this. I'm using my own money. I want that to be known right off the bat. But if you did not know about what DC Universe is, it is their kind of an all-in-one service where they have they are putting their movies and TV shows based on their characters out alongside select comic books that they have in there. And there's also a community page and also a shop and news section and an encyclopedia for characters. So I am here, as you see here I'm on the website. I can pull up the app, but it's not going to be that much different. But I will do that in a minute. But like I said, as you can see here from the top, you have your sections, your movie, comics, you know, your community section. So, but here's your homepage. If you've started watching stuff or reading stuff, it'll be here first, and then they'll show you trending movies and TV things, trending comics, and of course, you know, things you might want to check out. Some of this is kind of not totally unlike Marvel Unlimited, except for Marvel Unlimited is just for books. Like they don't have, you know, they don't have their TV shows and whatnot mixed into that. But like I said, some of the trappings, like this stuff with the essential storylines and Batman characters and stuff like that, you know, some of that kind of plays into the same thing. And of course, they have discussions because they have a discussion board in here in recent news. So, and of course, at the top, you know, hey, here's some things to check out. So they have, actually, as I move into the movies and TV section, and like I said, you know, this is stuff that I've started checking out. Like I checked out the first episode of Wonder Woman, the first episode of Super Friends, first episode of Static Shock, and of course I had to check out an episode of Batman animated series. So I know Batman TS was supposed to be in HD some point soon because of the new Blu-ray sets we're going on. But right now, as of it looks like the ones they have in here are standard definition, and doesn't look like there's no way to change from standard definition to high definition, even if it's in here. Steven, DC Universe, I should also point out before I go any further, is a website and also a Roku app, Android, and iOS app that you can check out. So there's apps for iOS, Android, Roku, Kindle Fire stuff also, by the way. So I'll get into a little bit more into that in a second, because I've seen some good things about it and I've seen some issues which can be ironed out, because again, the thing just started, so it's not like they don't have room for improvement. But so yeah, this is some stuff I started, and then of course, because it was Batman Day, they highlighted some stuff that you could watch and or read. Or this is the movies, the movies and TV show ad so many parts. So they got a bunch of Batman stuff, folks. So they got all of the Batman movies. I don't think they have Batman 66 in here, but they do not, or at least I haven't seen it. But they definitely got most of the Batman movies. They don't have all of them, and they also have a lot of the animated movies. So and some Batman Brave and Bold, which I want to check out, because I didn't get into that when it was on Netflix. And of course, like the more recent animated movies, not just Batman, like the Batman Ninja just came out like earlier this year, and it's already out there. They have Death of Superman on here, which is the most recent one. So here, I'll just go over here to the movies tab, and they're just showing you some of the stuff that you can watch. They got all of the Superman movies up until, all of the Christopher Reeve Superman movies. I haven't seen like Man of Steel or Begins in here, but I'm not, or Returns in here rather. But it could be in here if you search for it. I'm not sure, or they may not have put it in here yet. Like there's a interesting smattering of stuff that they have in here, and what some people have been noticing is that there's been, like, I think Tim said he was searching for Justice League versus Teen Titans and couldn't find it, but it was there like a day before Batman Day and couldn't find it. Sometimes if you search for the stuff, then you might find it, but so there's basically like they may have hidden it, but it's still there type of situation. So and that could have been because they wanted to surface more Batman stuff. So I'm doing see more, but it's not clicking for me. So that's awesome. Let's see. So yeah, they got a bunch of animated series. You can see some of them right here. Been checking out some of the Super Friends stuff, and boy, some of that old stuff is kind of rough. So they got Batman TS, Superman TS, Justice League, yay. And I think they do have Unlimited. So the old Superman cartoons, Batman Beyond, Young Justice 2 seasons, Static Shocks 4 seasons, Legion of Superheroes. So, a lot of stuff, and Teen Titans, the 3 seasons that they got of that. So they definitely have some stuff for you to check out on the animated and movies front and series front. Speaking of series, Wonder Woman, the Superboy stuff. I totally forgot about this Avengers of Superboy thing. But they've got the old Flash series, Constantine, that was on NBC, Birds of Prey. It's worth noting Birds of Prey and the Flash, the 90s Flash, both were and maybe still are on CW Seed. In fact, I don't see stuff like Vixen and The Ray on here, or at least I haven't yet. So maybe that stuff is coming, or maybe they haven't put it on because of CW Seed. I don't know. Human Target, which was a TNT show, is also in here. It has nothing to do with the fact that it has nothing to do with the Human Target that came on Arrow for an episode. But it is still the same character. I mean, let me rephrase it. It's the same character. It's not the same person playing them. And of course, the old Superman serials from back in the day, and Adventures of the old George Reeves series. if you want what may or may not be considered a laugh, and you try this out for the 7 days, for the 7-day trial, or if you end up subscribing to this, which I did, just check out the first Wonder Woman series, because boy, it was a different time. That's wow. Don't get me wrong, Linda Carter still my favorite, favorite Wonder Woman. She's gorgeous, love her. But that first episode, especially, and that is the thing that I don't know, being a kid and during that time that that this series came out, and recognizing it's like, wow, these people that they have, some of these, which are mostly like comedic folks, were quite prevalent back in the 70s. Because there's a couple of people that I've seen, and I was like, he or she was everything. Like they had Cloris Leachman playing Queen Hippolyta. Let's put it this way. They had this one comedian guy who was on, and her, and like this other guy, Henry Gibson, who was, if you know about the show Rowan and Martin's Laughing, was on there, and a whole bunch of other stuff, playing a Nazi double agent, I guess you could say. So yeah, there's some comedy. The mascara was called Paradise Island, and they were all running around in lingerie. In this thing, it's a whole thing. It's funny anyway, but not to belabor that. And like I said, Constantine from that was on the NBC show and all that kind of stuff. So I know they're supposed to be adding more stuff in as time goes by, especially with the new the book stuff. Young Justice, 2 seasons on there. I know the new season of Young Justice is going to be on here at some point. Titans, which is the new live action show, is going to start next month. You know, they got Batman Beyond. You can go check this out. And they got a bunch of specials and shorts and things that you can browse. As you can see, this is kind of, more of that. Kind of laid out. So yeah, overall, it's a pretty decent start. Oh, let me go to the comic book section. So here's the comic book section before I give, they have a nice smattering stuff. There's a lot of Batman here, obviously, because of Batman Day, but there's also have some weird stuff like Stormwatch is in here. They got some Flash in here, like I said, a bunch of Batman, Detective, and all that kind of good mess. They have, the reason why I said the smatterings are kind of weird is because, like, especially for their event books, and again, they are going to be adding stuff. Like they have 1 issue of 52. 52 was 52 issues. Now, I'm not saying that they had to put all of them in here or not, but it's just kind of weird as to how much of what they put in here. Again, it's a growing service. They had to put some stuff in here to start off with, but they got a relatively good amount of stuff for you to kind of start off with. So there's some Aquaman, worth noting, Arrowverse shows not in here just yet, and there's no telling when and or if they are going to be. I'm sure at some point there probably will be, but not at this point right now. But I do have the Arrowverse book, or at least a couple of issues of that. So yeah, so as you can see, there's a couple of issues here, a couple of issues there. There's like obviously some stuff that's gotten short runs, or well, they got the full run of Batman Eternal, because of course. But weirdly enough, 52, which is also had 52 issues, only had 1 issue. So I think they have like 3 issues of Final Crisis. So the event, I think, what I'm trying to say here is there's a good smattering to start off with. Is Black Lightning Year 1, but the event books, I kind of wish they had put in a lot of more than that. Again, they will be adding more as time goes on. Or at least I'm hoping they will be adding. I know they're supposed to be getting some more stuff next month. So this is not a straight up poo-poo, but it was just weird stuff that they kind of fully put in and not fully put in. Like some of the events they could have thrown in because they were kind of part in it. And so, but yeah, here and there, it's just enough to kind of get your appetite whetted, I guess. But yeah, they could have. I kind of wish they had put a little more of the event books in here, and that's probably selfish of me, because I know, and I could have sworn they had 3 issues of Final Crisis, not just 1. But they don't, and they don't even have Countdown to 52 in there, which some of this stuff I already have, so I'm not that pressed about it. But it would have been nice to be like, well, hey, there's, because some of the, especially some of the Arrowverse stuff and some of the, some of the DCEU stuff kind of played off some of the events, so it would have been good to have some of the full runs of that stuff. But again, time will tell. That stuff I'm surely will be coming. like one issue of identity crisis, you know, whatever. I believe it's worth noticing. Yeah, I can't remember. The one thing I think they did do in here, because I think I got it saved. They have One Punch in here. If you know what that is, then that's awesome, because that was a run of JLI or JLA. I think it's JLI. And it was in the beginning of the run, so that's that. But anyway, here's the comic book stuff. Again, I have like okay, it looks like they have been adding some stuff, because there's some of the stuff wasn't here previously. So looks like it may be more than monthly that they're adding stuff in. So I don't know what their time frame is for adding new stuff. Maybe it could be weekly, could be daily, could be, we don't know. But they do have a lot of Teen Titans stuff in here also, which is some stuff that I've been kind of wanting to dig back into. Some Flash stuff, Wonder Woman, you know. Like they have one issue of the Trinity series, but they have, you know, like I said, it's a smattering of stuff. It's weird. Wildcats, which that's a weird one to see in here also. They do have Young Justice, but not the original Young Justice. It's the one that's based off of the cartoon series. So that's that. But, you know, like I said, there is a smattering of things that's in here, comic book and movie and TV wise. So there's that. Here is the community page, which they have a bunch of discussion boards, you know, on various topics. You know, you got different tags and whatnot. And so I haven't really checked that out, because that's been the least thing that I've been kind of wondering about with this thing. But it's cool for those who want that kind of thing in here. And you can also create a new thread and go to town. News section. Here you can see there's that DC Daily thing, which I guess they've been loading more of it, because they only had one in here when this first came out. So they've been starting to add those a little bit, which I guess is like almost like the DC All Access thing. And I think it's some of the same hosts might be a part of some of the stuff. But I hadn't really checked out that much of those. But it's there. You got an encyclopedia. So you can check out various people. It is, I don't think it's not the whole DC universe. I suspect, well, let me see. Oh, here we go. It's mostly Bat focused, from what's like, and Teen Titans and stuff like that, because I'm sure it doesn't get as obscure as what you would, you know, what you would think the wiki would and whatnot. But it's got probably most of the things that people, well, specifically people, looks like you can check out. So there's that. And then of course there's a shop. If you're on the app, it would take you to an external thing, but since we're here on the website, then yeah, you can buy stuff from here, because of course, why would you not? Because it's all right here. So here's a bunch of things that you can buy, like pens, mugs, you know, cases for your phone. This is bracelets and whatnot. So yeah, there's a little shop in here, and actually, I think it just did. Yeah, it did kind of go out of the thing. So yeah, that is DC Universe. Oh, actually, let me point this out too. So you have a little section on My DC that you can cater. You got your section, your settings. You can go mess out. You can go in here. So with your movies and TV stuff, you can make lists of stuff that you want to come back to later. So as you can see on my page, this is, you know, it's no secret. I go by Ridercat pretty much everywhere. And I guess I can change this background or whatnot. And I can put in a little bio, that kind of stuff. And it shows you what you've already started watching that you've not finished. I've actually did finish this Wonder Woman series, but I don't know why it's saying that. But, and the Super Friends, I just stopped because it was like, wow, it was weird. But so you can, and here's your comics that you've been reading to get broken down by videos and comics. But you can also make lists, different lists. You can make them private, or you can make them public if you want to. And you have a favorites one. And these are two like private ones that I made this stuff for that, because they don't actually have like a read later and watch later in here. So I just made these two lists and made them private, just for my own benefit. But you can make a list, last name, description. You can make it private or not and create it, and throw. You could be like your top 10, whatever movies or TVs or. I could put in a. So as you can see, this outline by the My CCC thing, I can put a graphic up or a picture up. And the funny thing is, the one that I normally use, which actually would be funny if I actually still use it, is from the competition. Whether they would care about that, I don't know. And I'm pretty sure there's some jokers on this thing that would probably have already done that. But we'll see. But overall, like I said, DCU for us, there's a 7-day free trial. You try it out. Like right now, it's still kind of, has a smattering stuff we'll be getting in it and all. But if you like a lot of Batman, or if you like Batman, if you like the I mean, a lot of the draw would probably be the TV and movie stuff. And again, this probably won't be the last time we'll be talking about this. We may bring it up again this Thursday because the other guys have tried it out also, and I'm sure they have things that they may or may not want to talk about it, but they couldn't be here tonight to talk about it. But yeah, it is a thing, and it's kind of cool. I'm not sure. It's $7.99 a month. So I don't know, that might be a little much for some people's pockets, and I get that totally. It's $74, $74/$7.95 a year, something like that. So you can pay for a month, you can pay for a year, and again, 7-day free trial. I'm sure maybe going forward they might up it to 14 or do something like that to kind of get people in here. We don't know, but value wise, it's interesting so far. Excuse me about that. I was asked by Matt Wang whether they had rushed the launch, and I've actually been kind of going back and forth on that because I can see where that could be said, like I told him, but I don't think they did because they've been working on this for a long time, for a while, and this is not the first DC-related app that they have. Like, they have the DC All Access Lab app, which is kind of a different thing, but nevertheless, they could have used some of that for this. But there are some, especially on the app side, which I guess, let me see if I can pull this up right here right now. On the app side, that's kind of weird because there's Chromecast support. So again, there's the website. Actually, wait, while I get this straight. There's the website, which is right here. And then there's also iOS and Android apps. I've tried both of them because I have the device for each. And I've also tried out the Chromecast support. The Chromecast support needs a little bit of work. Because you can cast it to your TV using Chromecast. You can start stuff, you can stop stuff. Supposedly you can with Chromecast stuff, you could do a 30-second rewind or skip, or 30-second rewind or fast forward. That part hasn't been working for me. But again, that stuff, this is not the first app that I've seen do that, and this is definitely not the first app that does that has had that issue. So I can't necessarily put it on just that, but it is an issue. They have patched the thing. I know there has been a patch for iOS version. Last time I checked, still kind of had the issue where if you hit the 30-second rewind or skip, or if you do the 30-second skip or fast forward, it still kind of hangs and doesn't do it. It just kind of keeps going. I'm doing it. Because it's probably gonna screw with her. So I hope that doesn't. But pardon me for a second while I get this straight. There's that. All right. So I don't know if this is even gonna let me do this because I'd be shocked. So here you go. Here is the iOS version. Like I said, it's pretty much the same layout. You can see down at the bottom you have your different sections. news encyclopedia shop. If I hit the shop, it's going to take me out of the app, so I'm not going to do that. But yeah, movies and TV. Okay, see, which is weird because see, if you notice here, I watched the episode of the first episode of Wonder Woman, and I watched it on this app, so it did not update on the site, which is weird. Because it should look something like this, but it didn't. Of course, you can see, Young Justice. I watched a little bit of the first episode of that because we wanted to test out some things. Again, up at the top, there's Chromecast report. If I hit that, I could cast it out to my TV. That kind of could mess. So for the most part, it kind of works. Here is the books actually on an app. I could have done this on the website, but I didn't. So here's it's not guided view. That should be pointed out right now. They do something kind of similar, and it works. It works fine but it doesn't like guided view just does like one. This Comixology / Amazon's thing. It just does like one panel at a time, and you can zoom in and out, like that kind of stuff. But this one kind of does a 2-panel thing. I don't know if this is like the open source version of like a guided view or not, but I'm not sure. But it works. So like I'm just, swiping to the left, and it's going panel by panel. So it's just not doing it with the granularity that guided view. Oh, there we go. I don't know what just happened there, but so yeah. Oh, there we go. Get done with that. So it's cool. It works. Again, this is the iOS version. I can show because I'm probably taking a little bit more time than actually I need to with this. But I can sit here and bring up the version on Android real quick and show you it's not that much different. I can promise you that. And let's see. Oops, do this. All right, cool. And so we're gonna put that back there. So you can see, like I said, pretty much the same layout. Different buttons down at the bottom, but it's relatively the same layout. And of course, you got your 3 things here down on the side where you can go to each section you need to, and again, pick up where you left off on your comics or whatnot. So, like I said, it's relatively the same between both versions. I think, like I said, I have seen an update to this version, the Android version. So I think there's one might be coming for iOS. I don't know, but they're taking different times on that one. Overall, that it's functional, it's cool. You got a lot of stuff in there to kind of mess with and during the time. So if you want to check it out, like I said, there's a free 7-day trial. And let me see, because I think I saw something off of Twitter from Matt Wang just now. And let me see. Oh, okay. So sorry about that, Matt. He says, what a treat watching now comics. So thanks for watching, Matt. You're always an awesome dude, friend of the show. We got to have you back on real soon. He also said earlier that I'm excited about Die 2. Kieran Gillen is a huge RPG fan and gamer, which that part I did actually know about it because I follow him and I've seen a lot of his tweets. So that's cool. But yeah, I am going to now end the show having gone way long enough, because I think I've actually almost hit 2 hours here. So with that, I am going to do another ad read before I go. And that one will be for Funko, Fun at First Sight. Your home for exclusive collectibles, apparel, and brand merchandise. And now the listeners of Comic Chronicles can enjoy 10% off your entire purchase when shopping at Funko. To place your first order with 10% off and to help keep our show free for you, go to our network website, cspn.us. That's cspn.us. Then click on the Keyboard Podcast free link at the top of the page. From there, scroll down to the Funko link and place your order. When you get to the checkout, put in the offer code SHOP10, that's SHOP10, 10 by the way, for your 10% off discount. Funko through cspn.us. Do it today. And that, folks, ends this episode. I guess you could call it a bonus episode, but actually it's a 0.5. What can I say? Sometimes that happens. We hadn't had a 0.5 in a while, so I'm happy to bring it. Again, I would say we'll be back next week, but actually we'll be this coming Thursday, 9 p.m. TheClickNation.com/live or the TheClick Nation YouTube channel, 9 p.m. Eastern-ish. We start getting ready to record. So with that, my name is RowdyCat. You can find me at RowdyCat on Twitter. You can find me at News Nurse Need on Twitter. You can also find my News Nurse Need Reddit out there. I keep saying it's Spite's website forthcoming. I'm still hoping that's the case. I got to get up off my buttocks and get that to happening. But you can find my other cohorts, @_70 on Twitter and Instagram, PCN_dirt on Twitter, Pop Culture Net on Twitter, popculturenetwork.com, and IneedComics.com for his stuff. You can also find TimDog98, Tim DOGG98 on Twitter, The Click Nation on Twitter. That's TheKLIQ NATION, at CBCron on Twitter. Also, TheClickNation.com. Also, CBR, comic book. Oh, shoot. I just remembered something. Oh, shoot. I screwed up, folks. I apologize. Because there's actually 2 more pieces of news that I totally forgot to talk about that were on the other side. And I remember that because it's from Tim. So actually, let me do this real quick. I apologize for that. This is totally screwy, and I'm not doing any editing on this. So, the original X-Force reunites for ongoing series. So yes, folks, that is the team of Cannonball, Boom Boom, Domino, Warbird. Okay, well, Young Cable, no Cable. So anyway, yeah. So because of the fact that Cable died, speaking of, because I meant to, I knew I forgot something. Doggone it. So, but hey, it's things are things. The crew is getting back together to investigate the murder of their leader, Cable, and I'm sure they're going to run across and hunt down Kid Cable to see what's going on with that. So, I don't know. I'm slightly excited about this, but but I don't know. Ed Brisson's writing this, so we know how he gets down. Definitely going to be some action. Artist Dylan Burnett, from Cosmic Ghost Rider, is going to be doing the art on that one. And X-Force #1 is going to come out in December. It's really out of course, Extermination. So, and I want to say, I see a Deathlock, Shatterstar. Wait, Deathlock? When was Deathlock on X-Force? I don't remember that. And the Shatterstar, looks like Young Cable. I could have sworn Young Jean Grey went with them, but maybe that's not. And I thought she was supposed to be joining X-Force also, because I know she was supposed to be going with them during the courses of, or she wanted to go with them during the course of Extermination. But that's that. And one last piece of news. Marvel announces new Miles Morales Spider-Man creative team. All right, sorry about that. People don't understand what recording means, apparently. Marvel announces new Miles Morales Spider-Man creative team. So, and this is exciting because it's Saladin Ahmed and artist Javier Garon. So this will mark the first Miles Morales solo comic book not written by Brian Michael Bendis, who helped co-create the former Ultimate Spider-Man with artist Sarah Pichelli. So yes, Miles is getting his own book again, and I'm kind of happy for that. We'll definitely be checking it out. And I've been liking Saladin Ahmed stuff with Exiles and Black Bolt. So that is cool. So now I will officially end the show by saying thank you all again for coming out. Appreciate it. Again, Thursday 9 p.m. ish is when we start getting ready to record. Please come out and check us out then. I don't know whether we will have a full crew, but here's hoping, as always. But even if not, we will definitely be here doing a thing like we tend to do about this time. CSPN.us. You can go check out the show there on the Coastal of the Podcast Network, iTunes, Google Play. Go check us out there. You can subscribe to it. The SoundCloud for Coastal of the Podcast Network. It's there. I'm sure there's other podcast places. I don't think we're on Spotify yet, but I don't know. I have not checked. But again, like I said, this is a 0.5. Regular show will be definitely this Thursday. And I would also say that you should definitely check out our last show, which was episode 281, with writer Brian Edward Hill. It was awesome. Hopefully we'll have him back on the show again, which is why this is just news and the way it is. So with that, like I said, in closing, thank you for coming out. This is the KLIQ Nation's Comic Book Chronicles, and we're out.